Hi Sages, and welcome to your 2020 year ahead forecast. This is Sky here to speak a little bit about your energy for the oncoming calendar year of 2020. I hope you're feeling great, and I hope you've got a great coffee or tea to dive into some of these energies because your energy is really great for 2020, honestly. I mean, of course, not everybody will be exactly the same. We can't group every Sagittarius together completely, but there's sort of a sense of like grazing for this year. That's the word that I think of when I think of Sagittarius energy. You got so activated last year by your home planet of Jupiter being in its home sign, one of its favorite signs of Sagittarius. So you had a lot of visceral experiences, a lot of, themes relating to your desire, relating to what you want to do with your life, trying to figure that out, trying to parse that out. You might still kind of be in that place. That might not be done yet, but that really started last year in 2019. And as we move into 2020, your energy becomes more solid within that, or becomes more committed to that. And it kind of rests a little bit in 2020. 2020 for Sagittarius, in a way, is a resting year. And that can mean a few different things. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be boring, or that you're not going to have opportunities, or that you're just going to have to, nap the year away or something. Not at all. But it is seeming like a very good form of rest. Like perhaps for some of you, it even channels through because, again, Capricorn energy is very dominant in 2020. Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto are in Capricorn. So it's very hardworking energy. So it's almost as if you rest through a sense of hard work. So maybe finally manifesting that creative energy you got in 2019 out into the real world and pursuing creative projects, pursuing creative careers, making them real. And it almost feels resting. It almost feels like you are rejuvenating yourself through actually creating into the real world what you've wanted to do for such a long time. And I feel that those are the Sagittarius in 2020 that do the best, are the ones who take the insight and creative drive that they got in 2019 and commit to it and make it into something real if they can. And it's very resting and rejuvenating to see you doing that, or for you to see yourself doing that, really. And it leads to almost this form of grazing. Like if you think of a horse, because again, Sagittarius animal totem is a centaur, but also a horse. It's like a sense of just constant intake of what you need, and it's like a slow sort of a conscious activity of just taking in, of just being in the pasture, grazing is what I see for your energy. Because again, in Capricorn, very much earth energy in 2020. And when I'm trying to think of how fire sign of Sagittarius works with earth energy, horses are herbivores. So there's kind of like a sense of grazing, or, having openness around you. So like houses with open floor plans, being outside more, being in nature, being in forested, grassy areas might be really good for Sagittarius. These are just sort of subtle images that I'm getting for you. But there's going to be a big balance between the creative and the material for Sagittarius. So creativity becoming money, money becoming creativity, creativity inspiring your home or inspiring your connection to the world. There's a big sense of, okay, do I need to invest in my creativity? Does my creativity need to invest in me? This is going to be a lot of your dialogue this year, and I'm hoping that towards mid 2020 for Sagittarius, about June or July of 2020, I'm hoping that starts to feel really set in place, and like there's not a big disparagement or tug of war between themes of creativity and material world. So between now, when this video is going out in December, to February, late February, that tug of war may exist, and it has to really be spotlighted. Okay, you guys have to have a spotlight towards the end of the astrological year, which comes in March. March 21st is the astrological new year. January 1st is the calendar new year. And so they are both kind of new energies because society devotes all of its new energy to calendar new year. But again, middle Capricorn energy is one of the oldest kinds of energy. So it's one of the reasons why people get kind of crazy with New Year's resolutions and they never pan out, is because Capricorn time is not a time for newness in any way. That would be March 21st. That's when the New Year's resolutions will work, is when Aries time comes around. But anyway, So yeah, January to like middle March for you guys, there has to be like a setting of something. There has to be like a sun setting. There has to be a release of what you didn't need before, of the things that were really driving a lot of energy, taking a lot of energy that are not renewable or self-sustaining, which those are important words for you guys too. You had to spend a lot of energy in 2019, and it would be really good to go back into hindsight and see where all that energy went, where all of the money, time, energy went in 2019, and was that good? Was that giving back to you in some way? Or was it almost just like a burning of time, money, energy? Was it almost like it just disappeared? And there's a really good lesson that you guys can take and get more creativity from through seeing that, okay? Um, let's see. Friendships, popularity, and renown, all of these ideals of like 10th house midheaven things can be real for you this year, based on how you acted in 2019 or based on the connections that you made then. You guys can really solidify a sense of reputation or a sense of people knowing you publicly or something. That is something that naturally comes up for Sagittarius here, because again, as Jupiter goes from Sag, which is 9th house energy, into Capricorn 10th house energy, it is going over the natural archetype of the midheaven, which again is reputation, platform, how you're publicly known, things like that. So especially in the beginning of the transit, again, from December to March of 2020, there will be themes of like reputation and branding and how you present yourself to the world, your own image, things like that are going to be right at your feet. So it's good to think about that. And some people, like especially spiritual people, which are the majority of who might be listening to this now, the idea of branding or reputation or your image in the eyes of other people is not the main area of focus, I know, but it is impacted nonetheless during this time, and it's good to know that that is coming and that that is happening, and that you guys can really actually control it really easily. So watch out for that, because right during the time that we start to really think about, okay, I'm going to control how I come off, I'm going to be like very measured and self-controlled, not really a Sagittarian principle, so it's not for that sake, but it's just like the reality of what you're going through. And you also have to remember that Jupiter is debilitated in Capricorn as well, and that's sort of one of the reasons why, like what I'm just talking about there, about self-control and the reputation as it relates to that. It's not really Sagittarius's favorite thing to work with, but it is at your feet at this time. And there are good blessings for you within it, because Jupiter always gives of itself in every sign. It always gives a sense of luck and blessings. But Capricorn isn't really about receiving freely. So Capricorn doesn't really take what Jupiter gives. So there's that sort of tension there. So if you guys can really accept help or accept what the world is giving you, make sure you're not rejecting help, not rejecting assistance, not rejecting what is at your feet. That will be really good for this year. Neptune is an interesting thing for Sagittarius this year, as it has been for the last few years, since it was in Pisces, and it's just moving more and more forward into Pisces and getting towards that last segment of Pisces energy. So what that means is that Sagittarius, who are later in Sagittarius, towards the Sag Capricorn cusp, are going to start feeling that Neptune energy, going to start feeling that extremely, extremely creative, problem solving, but also unreal type of energy of Neptune. So again, Sagittarius and all the mutable signs to a degree are where creativity is being activated at. And you guys can show so many creative talents and so many creative gifts at this time, and that's where you need to be, even if it's coming about in a roundabout way. So like maybe you're an accountant, or maybe you're doing something that people don't really see as a creative career. There has to be some kind of creativity injected into it to really feel good with what is coming up there. All in all, though, Sagittarius, it's an incredible year for you, and it's kind of a load off type of year. It's kind of a sense of payback. It's a sense of, okay, I've really been activated. I've really had my time, and now I'm just kind of pulling. I'm exhaling, as a Sagittarius. I inhaled last year, and this year I exhale. And Sagittarius does this in a funny way. This, again, it's not about just resting. For some of you, you will have incredible rest, maybe lounging in the sun. This type of thing is really good for you. But most of your rest and rejuvenation comes through, again, manifesting that creative outward into the material. So really beautiful to see you doing that. I'm going to get a tarot card for you guys for the year of 2020. I'm just shuffling right now. Just one card to sort of see like what archetype is shaping you and how you can be more wholesome, what you can kind of look to operate, you know, with high vibration during the year of 2020. So let's see. We have... Okay, 6 of Wands. Interesting. I love that a card with a horse came up because you're Sagittarius. And this is like a Sagittarius card because it's like the man on the horse, you know, it's kind of centaurian type of vibes. So I absolutely love that for you guys. That's a great synchronicity for you that the year of 2020 is still about Sagittarius. You know, it's still about your energy. Your energy will be victorious. It won't be clamped down. It won't be tied down by this more stark, more subtle energy of Capricorn. So you guys have to kind of stay on your high horse in a way. You have to stay confident. You have to stay noble. You have to stay high vibrational. You have to stay, what's the word? There's a perfect word. You have to stay integrated. You have to stay in integrity. Okay. Your integrity, your sense of posture. Also, I love 6 of Wands because that person has such good posture and they're like really straight and postured on solid, you know, with a sense of solid. They're not, basically the horse, they're not feeling like, oh, I've got to hold on, I might fall off the horse. Like they're in control of what they're riding. They have people around them. There's a system in place. There's a sense of, you know, everything's about you. There is a sense of that here because you've sort of, especially if you've stuck to consistency over the last year, there are rewards for Sagittarius this year. So I mentioned staying on your high horse. At the same time, 6 of Wands has to watch out for peacocking that, okay? You have to keep above things that are not integrity based, but you don't want to then use that as an ego piece to act above other people. There is that catch-22. And again, you have to also realize Jupiter went into Capricorn. Now things are more understated. Now things are more frugal. Now things are, you know, really budgeted. Time, money, energy is really strict, okay? So Sagittarius can sometimes look out of touch, can kind of look like it has a let them eat cake type of attitude if it hasn't aligned itself with that shift. So yeah, last year was the time to, you know, let them eat cake, or the time to have that attitude, like, you know, big spender, gambling, luck energy. But that has changed as you're listening to this reading. It's really actually shifted into completion. Like now it's about, you know, having respect for everybody, about, you know, having modesty, having humility, this type of thing. And if you can have that, that boosts your sense of nobility to the moon, you know, really, like it goes really high. And that's where you guys find most of your powers, in that sweet spot where you're not like hunched over, where you're not burdened by a sense of modesty or burdened by a sense of like duty or something, yet you are humble and you are careful about how you move through. You're agile. You know, horses, they're very like graceful and agile, and they are sometimes can be a little bit clumsy in that sense, and that's just what you have to watch out for this year. It's a year that demands agility and coordination from you for sure. So anyway, Sagittarius, you can become quite masterful within that, you know, like you can become very coordinated. Interesting time for like martial arts or some type of horseback riding or archery or something that really channels, you know, teaching relating to like your posture or relating to your coordination or anything like that. So anyway, Sagittarius, thank you guys so much for being here. I hope that you loved this 2020 year ahead forecast for you. Be sure to hit that like button. It would be so helpful. Like 1, 2, 3, hit the like button, go like right now. Thank you so much. And subscribe if you are new. Hit that bell button so you can get notifications when I post, because 2020, I'm trying to go big this year on YouTube. So your support means so much. And I have a lot of other forms below in the show more description box section where you can see how to follow me elsewhere. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, and I have a Patreon page, and I have a website. You know, I've got all the boxes ticked when it comes to being elsewhere. If you wanted to book a private reading for 2020, that link will be below as well. And yeah, I am so looking forward to reading for you guys throughout 2020. It's going to be a big year for you. Definitely a good time to be subscribed to spiritual understanding types of channels, because that's where a lot of your focus will be, because it's gone into a very conceptual energy for you. Thank you guys so much for being here. We'll be talking soon. Much love. Bye.